ever do a video about top 10 characters in this show that you ended up actually kind of liking? That was mostly a joke thing because the fandom fights were getting a little bit too intense and wanted to be a little bit goofy, but threw in some legitimate choices. And then the only character that you actually kind of wanted back ends up being the first one announced to come back for the next season. And then not even 24 hours within recording a video for discussing the follow-up to that video, you find out another prediction is true. I got nearly everything wrong in my actual theory video, and the joke video I did for funsies ends up being the one with actual predictions. So Ashima came back this weekend in the episode Ashima's Amazing Arrival. I don't usually do episode reviews and stuff like this. I kind of tend to do, bigger, beefier, nicer videos or reviews. But, considering I accidentally predicted this character and the response it got, I felt like I had to comment on this episode at least once. Plus, that All Engines Go Season 1 retrospective ain't coming out till maybe like another month or two, so, might as well get ahead of the curve a little bit. To describe Ashima is basically a modern-day version of Duck in the 2000s. Despite tons of merchandise and tons of potential, for some reason she constantly has been neglected. Advertise her as a prominent character in your big reboot that's promoting gender diversity, and neglect her for all the male-trained characters. What a deal! Honestly, kinda sad that the only episode that actually bothered to give her some actual personality beyond the Great Race was an episode about Rajiv of all characters! Also, to finish my mini rant, Shankar's makeover was absolute disappointment. This beautiful design for Thomas forcing friends into peer pressure. So when All Engines Go came in and actually brought in some decent diversity, gender balance, and actually giving their female characters some real personality, I was kind of excited when she was announced to return. I mean, if Nia could finally get salvaged and get some actual character of her own, maybe this would finally be the one! So did I think Ashima's Arrival was the best episode ever for our good friend Ashima? It was okay. Yeah, it was kind of an okay episode. Ashima's Amazing Arrival ended up basically being the we gotta get ready for a friend coming over, but everything's going wrong. But then we realize, oh wait, our friend's just coming over to see us, so it doesn't matter if it's not 100% perfect. Episode plot. There's not too much to write home about, honestly. It's an episode more about Thomas, Percy, Kana, Sandy, and Carly, and way less about Ashima, who only shows up in the last 2.5 minutes. Yippee! I showed this episode to my friend and local Ashima fan Maddie, who just kind of wanted to see this episode. She kind of fell off All Engines Go a bit, and she admitted while there were some nice moments, this was going to be a one-time watch for her, and I'll be very honest, same. Before I start, Season 2 has actually been an improvement. I like a lot of the things they're doing, and Bruno is easily one of my favorite newbies. He deserves all the cookies. But not gonna lie, I kind of see why people don't watch All Engines Go with episodes like this. It is still Thomas preschool, essentially, and it's one of those episodes where there's a ton of subplots kind of happening at once, and the end result just kind of feels a bit cluttered. Like, you could have easily took out the Kana plot, and maybe given it some time to actually show Oshima's character, because they didn't really do a whole lot of it in this episode. She likes dancing and she's friends with animals. That's the most we ended up getting to learn about her. But a lot of my disappointment is honestly more the fact that Ashima, once again, gets the chance for a big spotlight and we don't get really all that much from her. All these really nicely developed girl characters, and these are the two that get neglected. I don't get it. Now, to be fair, that was entirely all my own fault. We've been praying and hoping for years to get some decent Ashima content, and nothing's happened beyond merchandise. And it does seem like we might be lucky and get a reversal of how Yongbao was handled in All Legends Go. Yongbao got a really big, really cool intro episode, followed by a really subdued, kind of quiet goodbye episode with a nice song, and it seems like that's the reverse going on here. Considering it's this early into Season 2 as well, hopefully she's gonna be more of a recurring character rather than just a couple episodes and maybe some cameos. That's what I'm hoping, at least, please. Plus, unlike a lot of the other previous eras, I wouldn't say that All Engines Go has terrible episodes. There's no terrible messages or incompetent writing. The worst I personally felt it got was maybe some of the scripts were more generic, but even with that, you kind of at least get a few moments like this episode did. The song was fun, I thought the message was pretty decently delivered, and there's even some fun character moments sprinkled throughout it. It's just not an episode I'm gonna find myself rewatching that often, and it's a lot of my own disappointments I set up for myself and let down myself with. And again, I actually think this season's been a huge improvement. The whole Thomas is the hero of every episode thing seems to have gone away. We've been getting a lot more episodes about other characters and locations and all sorts of more fun stuff. To cut a bit of slack, we've got a pretty stacked returning list for this season. Toby, Terrence, Whiff, Beresford, Darcy, all these characters coming back in the same season. Considering the writing team has definitely proven themselves with this season so far, I'm willing to sacrifice a bit of Ashima screen time to see how they handle these guys. And if anything else, if any of her other episodes just turn out to be really okay, the merchandise has been good enough that maybe I'll get some for myself and also gift it to a certain friend of mine. Before I skedaddle though, two quick things. One, I really wish they didn't just recycle Mia's rig for her face. I get it, budgets and deadlines are a thing and building an entire new rig from scratch is very difficult, but I feel like they could have modded it a little bit more just to make them a bit more differentiated. And yes, I know throughout the episode that they refer to her as Ashima, and it turns out that's the actual correct pronunciation, and apparently we've been getting it wrong the whole time. Thanks, Brenner Era!
Thanks a lot!
So yeah, Ashima's amazing arrival. Okay, episode, just want more screen time with Ashima in it. Well, that's a brand new ramblings all taken care of and out of the oven. Time to head over to Twitter to see what other Thomas merch news I may have been missing.
Oh no!